Hello YouTube, welcome back to Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today we are going to work on the shop. On the bottom of the awning brackets, where it mounts to the bottom of the shop, the wood is so rotten because when I first got this shop, it was a camper, of course, everybody knows that. When I first got it, the roof leaked really bad, and immediately after I got it, I had to put a whole new roof on here, including trusses. Every single one of the trusses have been replaced. The plywood all has been replaced with 7/16 plywood and new rubber, new everything. So that was a job in itself. We had to do that in a campground. But anyway, I'll show you what we got going on. So what we have here is the wood is so far gone that these screws won't stay in it, and this keeps pulling away from it. So what I plan to do is try to do this in a different way. We know that the frame is solid, and it's not very far from this. So if I was to make a steel bracket that bolts to the side of the frame, that comes out and comes up with another piece, sorry, I had my finger in the wrong place of the camera, or the camera in the wrong place with my finger. So we can come up with a piece of steel mounted with bolts to the frame and come up to where this is going to be, and then with it mounted to the frame, even if these screws don't hold, it's not going to fall because it's mounted to the frame. Now I would prefer to take this wall apart and put a new 2x4 in there, but that's not an option. Simply because if I do, I wouldn't be able to get this siding back on it the way it should be. Now I made these brackets, so it looks like now we've got to make a bracket for this. So I'm going to look around and see what kind of material I can find that will work for that. So stay tuned. Alright, so now what I've done is I found some pieces of metal that I got from a treadmill, and it had this bracket on the end of it, so I can bolt that to the frame, and then the other piece that I cut didn't have this, so I had to make a piece like this. So we're going to make these up that's going to look exactly like this one. So what it'll do is go up here, it'll mount to the frame. Then I made this plate that will go on here. Now these holes, let me get you up here. These holes here, the wood's messed up down here at the bottom, but it feels like it might be a little solid up here at the top. So what I did was countersunk some screw holes to go up there just like that, and I'll screw them in right there. Now these are not going to be holding it. Because when you have your awning out, you're pushing towards this. The only reason that this wouldn't work before is because as you're taking it out, it pulled on it. So this is going to take care of that, hopefully. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this to the back side of that, and then that'll go up there just like that and mount to the frame at the same time. And then I'll tap these 4 holes here out to mount my bracket. So we'll get to welding this up after I thread. I have to thread some of these holes for 1/4 20, and let's hope it works. So now this here will mount underneath to the frame, and this here will mount to the front of the shop, and then this will mount right there just like that. And we're going to use 1/4 20, and then in between there we're going to actually make a spacer to go between this so that it's a solid, so that this bolt here is not pushing on this and breaking it, because this is just aluminum. So we want to make sure that this thing ain't going to break on me. We're hoping that this will work. So I'll get everything prepared and ready to go on there and get these cleaned up and painted, and we'll be back when we go to put it up. So now we can raise this up. Slide it in place, and now it's solid, it ain't going nowhere, and it's hooked to the frame. So just a recap of what we have. We'll take you off tripod. Is that I gotta tighten that up yet, and it's up high enough that it's above the frame, and there we have it. So that's how you fix an awning that the wood's rotten and you have no choice but to do it that way. I'm going to do that one exactly the same way, but we already showed how to do it, so there's no real point in showing both of them. So there you have how to fix your awning when you have rotten wood. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you want to help the channel out, you can by going to PayPal and PayPaling any contributions to the shop at bisonworkshop@gmail.com. You guys have a good one. Later.